murder as devastating, heinous and barbaric. Governor Gaidam also urged security operatives to intensify aerial surveillance of the area, while confirming that 40 people were killed and 4 were injured. The governor also promised to foot the medical bills of the injured. In the statement this morning, Governor Gaidam strongly condemns the attacks on the students, described as devastating. 40 students were killed. The governor commiserated with the families of the victims and prayed to God to make the injured recover quickly. He also says the Yobe State government will ensure that all those that are wounded are properly taken care of.
Command there in Maiduguri to ensure that they put more security surveillance, and then operatives who must be going up and down from Maiduguri to Damatru to Potiskum to ensure that there are enough security. When we were coming, actually, we saw quite a number of bikers. We met more than 100 of them going in queues, and they are all risk actually. They are not protected. So we have seen movements of troops and armories fighting bikers for the military. We are yet to see the action on ground actually. So I want to seize this opportunity to appeal to the military authority and all other security chiefs, the police, and all civil defense to ensure that I think that to live up to the expectation of our people, because we have been seeing many English written in the pages of the newspapers, but no action. We want action, not to writing. We want action. We have seen movements of everything, but they are yet to act. People are dying, and they are trying to make the Northeast sub-region ungovernable. So this is unfortunate. That means government is not living up to its responsibility. And
Yobe State Governor Ibrahim Gaidam speaking there. Now, staying with the Yobe killings, the president is dismayed at the unfortunate incident. Fielding questions from journalists at the presidential chat in Abuja yesterday, President Goodluck Jonathan said he is perplexed as to why people would carry out such a heinous act.
A few minutes after 12 midnight, about 22 students were killed in the north. In the Yobe State. We got that information maybe 10 minutes after the incident happened. Of course, I asked if you are me as the president of the country, what would you tell the parents of these young students? And I asked, why did they kill them? Is it ethnic cleansing? In that case, these students you killed from which ethnic group? Is it because you don't like the face of the president? Okay, if you kill them, as the president changed, is it political? Which political party do they belong to? Is it religious issues? Those students, which religious group they belong? Are they Christians? Are they Muslims? Or what? We can ask and ask. Or with poverty that some people try to attribute the excesses of some of these miscreants as a result of poverty. Is it poverty? Can poor people buy AK-47 rifles? Can poor people buy ground-to-air missiles that can bring down aircraft? Can poor people buy 30, 50 or more Hilux vehicles that is used in parading to cause havoc? Definitely not.
Meantime, the victims of bombings by Islamist militants in the northern part of the country have appealed to the government to fulfill its part of helping them pick up the pieces of their lives. In this special report, our correspondent Omelogon Nadi looks at what life has been like for some victims of the bomb blast and the challenges they face living with their losses.
1st October 2010. On this day, the first set of explosives were detonated in Abuja during the 50th Independence Anniversary. President Goodluck Jonathan and dignitaries from around the world were in attendance. A dozen people were killed and about 2 dozens injured. Barely 2 months later, on the eve of year 2011, another explosion rocked a beer garden and mini market at a military cantonment popularly known as Abacha Barracks in Abuja, leaving 30 dead and scores critically injured. These 2 bomb blasts in 2010 opened up a new era of bombings through 2011 and 2012 in the federal capital and across the northern parts of the country. Some were credited to the Movement for the Emancipation of the Niger Delta, MEND, and majority in the later stages to the Islamic sect Boko Haram.
If it is much in me, because in that incident, I lost 2 of my daughters.
My husband burned, my daughter Lillian burned, Richard Idike burned, Emmanuel Idike burned. Then 2 was left with me.
Gabriel Abu is 17 years old. He was 15 when he was caught up in a bomb explosion at the Mogadishu cantonment on the last day of 2010. Besides other injuries, he lost a limb and is now stuck with an artificial limb that is fast deteriorating.
They employ me for school. But this is one of those 2 things that I know from my treatment in the school.
From the United Nations bombing in August 2011, which left 23 dead and 129 injured, and the Manila bombing in December of same year with some 40 persons dead and over 50 injured, are Clement Obi and Ebuka Obiako, who both lost their left eyes.
The worst painful part of it is after the bomb blast and the other thing, them abandoned so many of us in the hospital.
I have to go under or through other surgeries so that the eye will not get rupture.
One thing that remains constant for all these victims, however, is unfulfilled promises by the federal government, which is met by unrelenting hope that good fortune will yet come their way.
We were directed to FCDA that they were the one who were to manage the treatment here in Nigeria, but when we got there, the response we got from them was not encouraging at all.
I'm begging Nigerians to help me in my children's aspect, at least in their education.
Recently, Mr. Henry Oka, the mastermind of the October 1st bombing, where 12 people died, was convicted in South Africa. But that is hardly enough, the victims say. No convictions have been made for other bombings where more than 1,000 have lost their lives in 3 years and a lot more injured and left with indelible scars. These victims are hoping that while efforts are being made to bring justice to them, government will hasten to take a fresh look into their situations, especially those who still require recurring medical checks and treatment that they cannot afford. Omelogo Nadi, Channels Television News.
And still ahead on News Track, as the nation prepares for its 53rd birthday, President Goodluck Jonathan believes it's time for Nigeria to join the Committee of Nations.
And prominent Nigerians also believe that the nation is far better than it was 53 years ago.
Please join us again for details.
At first, it's only anticipation that something is about to happen. This is one thing that makes life interesting, to compete not only with players across the field, but across the world. It makes me feel joy when we win and sorrow when we lose. The action and reaction, colliding, falling, dropping, despite the odds. I love it because it brings me tears of victory, tears of joy. The skill that leads to the pass that leads to the shot that leads to the goal that determines the ultimate. Channel Sports, defining the moment of true sport.
Glad to have you back. For all our top stories and other programs, you can find that on our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb.
To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on the iPod, iPhone, or BlackBerry. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android and Nokia 920 devices, plus the iPhones from their respective stores. Nigeria's president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, believes that the nation has almost reached the point where it will join the Committee of Nations, but forces of evil don't want that to happen. Dr. Jonathan was speaking at the Interdenominational Church Service at the Christian Ecumenical Center, Abuja, to commemorate the country's 50th